This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, and the stories that lead to today's show are: a security robot drowns itself. We're going to talk about the Game of Thrones. So I'm going to try not to give any spoilers, but if you haven't watched it, oh my goodness. We're going to talk about Amazon Meal Service. We're going to talk about Netflix at 100 million, plus all the news of the day. I want to welcome you to episode 1212 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, July 17th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and great listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Of course, you can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider or simply paypal.me/geeknews. You can pick up Ohana gear at cafepress.com/Ohana store. And as like anything else, I am reaching for a button and trying to get something set up here while while I'm getting the show started. I just want to give everyone a warm welcome. Welcome to the show. And let's see if I can make this happen without making myself look like too much of an idiot. Let's see if the graphics come up. Yeah, they do. The one's in the wrong spot. So anyway, hey everyone, welcome to the show, and glad to be back with you. I tell you, it's having been out on the East Coast and not doing a show, I didn't miss you, and but glad to be back in the saddle. And for those of you brand new to the show, we want to make sure that you really get connected with the podcast. It's real easy to do so. And all you got to do really is come over to geeknesscentral.com. And let me get you on the homepage first. You're on the player page. When you're on the homepage, you can get subscribed to the show right on the right-hand column of the website. There's also, of course, a place there to sign up for the newsletter. We want you to do that as well a little bit further down the page. So that's really what it's all about. Getting over to geeknewscentral.com, getting subscribed to the show. That way you never miss a single episode. We'll deliver it to whatever device you have, even your email, if you want to just do it that way. But if you got comments on today's show, geeknews@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter @geeknews. Of course, you can join our Slack channel by sending a message to me via that email address saying, I want to be part of your Slack channel. And if you don't know what Slack is, come on, you're a geek. You've got to figure it out. It's awesome. But anyway, you can follow me on Google+. We're on Facebook. You can watch this show on the Roku, on the Apple TV. Of course, on the Roku, it's via the Tech Podcast channel. You can listen on the Amazon Echo by telling Alexa to play the latest edition of this show's name. You can listen on Stitcher, watch, review it, and Blueberry.com. Or basically, you can tell your Google Home device, okay, Google, and then you tell it to, it's listening. Play the name of this, play the podcast, and then say this show's name. So I think it's confused. It's blinking at me right now. But any
I can't help with that yet.
okay, thanks Google. Well, better try next time. I didn't want to give you any bad information there because you'd have started playing the show during the show. It's not going to talk back to me. So anyway, everyone, welcome to the show, and of course, we want to remind you of our partner shows. Take some time to get over to the website. The New Media Show by Rob Greenlee and I, the Pro Gear Guru site written by my great team, the Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. We've got No Better Than Average with Jacob and Jeff, and of course, the Podcast Legend Show, which is making its return. I'm getting Kirk some names this week, and hopefully we'll do some interviews this weekend. So we'll have some new episodes, but that one from Adam Curry on there is still pretty hot. Hey, don't forget, though, really, the most important thing about this show is we need to keep the lights on, and your assistance is requested in helping do that. And really, all is required is that you share the information about our sponsor, GoDaddy.com. Send people over to the GoDaddy promo code page at Geek News Central by visiting geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And they can save 30% off on new product purchases. 99cent.com is $1 a month economy hosting, $1 a month managed WordPress hosting. Both of those hosting accounts come with a free domain, $1 a month for the first year, $12. And I think a regular domain retails, a .com retails at $8.49 if you don't use that 99-cent coupon. But you can also get 1 month free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal, business, or business plus plans. So definitely check that out at geeknewscenter.com/GoDaddy. We want your supports. Have your friends and neighbors, people that you know. Don't write it on the bathroom wall, as that would be illegal. But put a postcard on a bulletin board, whatever it takes. Share my codes, tweet it, link it. It is definitely appreciated when you do so. That's helping the show as much as buying something yourself. But we appreciate when you do that as well. Hey, I'm just absolutely ecstatic to be back with you. Just gonna give you a quick rundown of what's been going on. Obviously, I left here a week ago Friday. Flew into Michigan. I had no problem with Enterprise at Detroit Airport. Absolutely none. In and out in like I'll say 6 7 minutes. I was on the road. That's how it's supposed to work when you hit a rental car. So I was talking their praises, and I want to share their praises today because when someone does good, we should praise them, and when someone does bad, we talk about them on social media, right? And in Hertz, I mean Enterprise did a great job, but hung out with family, and actually an interesting couple of days at home. This situation that's still percolating. As a matter of fact, that's the reason I started the show late tonight. Was I recorded a video and put it out on the Quincy Speaks Out forum Facebook page. Um, it's just got to a point where there needs to be some movement, and I basically asked an individual to resign tonight on his own free will. I don't know if he'll do it or not, but anyway, if you want to just kind of continue to follow the drama, we talked about it in the show some months ago in detail, and I'll probably do a catch up at some point. But Quincy Speaks Out forum, if you search that on Facebook, you'll find the page, and you'll find my 7.5 or 7 minute 50 second dialogue tonight that I put up. But that said, I met with a lot of folks in Quincy that are basically involved in trying to make some changes there. And matter of fact, this morning I submitted a Freedom of Information Act request with the school, a variety of items I'm looking for. It's a significant request in scope, so it's probably going to take them a while to put it together. I hope they give it to me in digital form. If not, I'm going to have $1,000 FedEx bill before it's all over. But anyway, long story short here, just actively involved in that. And but had a great time with my family. Hung out, was fun. And it's one thing about family. Sometimes they do stupid stuff. An extended family sometimes do stupid stuff, but this wasn't a trip where the immediate family, my sister and cousins and my sisters, niece and nephews, all that was good. No issues there. But I have to be careful here too. I've got a good friend, and he's going through some challenges with his family. And what do you do? What do you do when family members are, your extended family, friends, people that you consider family, people that know your history, know your life, know run around with you as a kid. Those friends, you don't trade them for nothing. And when they call for help, or they need help, or they need advice, you go, or you pick up the phone, or you do what is required to support, right? That's what we all do. That's what we are as humans. We are very protective, and so a friend of mine needed some assistance, and I think we've come up with a end game for him and his wife, and did some heart to heart talks, and I'm not going to say his name on the show, but I feel for him because he was in a tough spot, and it kind of still is. But anyway, long story short, you do what you have to do, right? And I'm glad you guys are all here with me today and listening to the show or watching. Thanks for being part of this Ohana. And when you guys need something and need a shout out or a reach out or you need the word put out on something, this is what it's all about. If you're doing a podcast, you have a business, you're having struggles, whatever it may be, you know, the Ohana is here and we can put our resources to work. So don't forget that. And don't forget the email or say, hey, I need to talk to you, whatever it may be. This is what this show is all about. Even though we're a tech show, we're still a big family here, right? Well, anyway, I drove down to Columbus on a Wednesday morning, left the house, my mom's house and sister's house about 5 o'clock in the morning. Got into Columbus. Well, maybe I didn't leave at 5. I left at 6. Got in the office about 9:15. Um, Angela was in the office. The rest of the gang rolled in. Had two really really productive days, and then Friday we did a team meetup where everyone came in, and Barry, our CFO, and Mike Dell came down, and really um, there was really um, a great team meetup, and we had the biggest group of us ever together in one place. The only we were missing 4 or 5 of us from the team, and I say us because it is the Blueberry teams is a team, and had a great day of meetings. They're talking about really those things that companies talk about when they get together, and what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what we can improve on, and what do we need to change, what do we need to fix, all that stuff. And went to dinner that night, had a good dinner. Then I jumped on an airplane Saturday morning and came back home. I got in here, and everything's pretty much on track. I'm pretty pleased with what's going on here. My wife, daughter, and youngest son leave for Hokkaido tomorrow morning. Wife's using her flight benefits. I'm not going with them. I'm staying home and working. But I'll be honest. I slipped a little bit on the weight thing. Wasn't getting to the gym. Was splurging a little bit in too much food, so I came home 3 pounds heavier. So this morning I was at 194. It is what it is. I'm still 20 pounds away, 19 pounds away. But this has been a month of no progress. Lots of ups and downs. So anyway, I'm back on the cross trainer and back on the food program, and no more booze, lots of H2O. So anyway, that's that. I've caught you guys up, and thanks for being patient. Thanks for letting me have a week off. It's good for my soul. It's good for my psychic after we've been here together so many many years together. So just have to do this from time to time and come back recharged and ready to rock and roll. But let's talk a little bit about some stuff that is in the news. And it just, you see some stuff and you just shake your head. Really. You really do. Um, so today, I see this. It's all over Facebook. It's on The Verge, and it's basically this security robot inside a fountain. Now, you guys are gonna kind of laugh here, but this thing is, I guess this thing wanders the halls in Washington, D.C. in some place. Well, it wandered too far and wandered right into a fountain. I don't know if it was going on strike or what the situation was, but it didn't end well. You've got a very expensive piece of equipment submerged in water, and yeah, probably that one will have to go in for warranty work. Yes, indeed. So anyway, um, Mike is saying Geek News Central still uses Flash. No, I don't think I use any Flash. If there is, there may be an ad on the website, but I don't think there's any Flash on Geek News Central. So we'll have to look at the code on that. Shouldn't be any Flash over there. So anyway, I just thought this was slick about this particular robot role. It's they must have not have mapped it right, or it didn't know where it was going because there's some steps leading into this fountain. And anyway, bada bing, bada boom. Mike says, "Hey, mention the Petapixel Photography Podcast. So everyone, make sure you go to Google and you Google Peta, P-E-T-A, Pixel Photography Podcast. So if you're doing a photo, if you're shooting some photos with, I imagine DSLR, probably Mike's got a good podcast for you to listen to. All right, so anyway, robots rolling into fountains is the fun thing of the day. But I will say this: we were already here in the household last night, waiting for Game of Thrones to come on, and was all prepped. Everything was ready. Had some popcorn, and the first 5 minutes we were cheering. When the house cheers in the Game of Thrones, it can only mean one thing: evil people are done away with. And I'm just going to say the first 5 minutes of Game of Thrones sets the scene for what is to come for this coming year. And you know what's going to happen. You already know. You've finished the last season on a certain note. You start on a new note, and you're like, "Oh my goodness!" And might be confused a little bit. That's all I'm going to say. But this thing has got more twists and turns. And I was reminding my son, "Who's that? What did he do? And why is that important?" So I'm like backfilling. I'm like, "You need to go back and watch the previous 5 seasons, dude. I don't want to have to sit here every time there's a new episode on and share with you." But one of the best series on TV, in my opinion. All right, how many of you do Amazon Fresh? Oh, what is that? You don't know what Amazon Fresh is? How about Amazon Pantry? Hmm. Have you been able to do that? Have you been able to? How about some meals delivery? Have you ever got meals delivered to you? One of those meal delivery services? Well, 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 well. According to a report published today by the Times, Amazon registered a slogan that says, "We do the prep, you be the chef." So the application for the registration explains that the service is going to provide prepared food meals, which will be ready for assembly as a meal. So we don't know when this is going to launch, but this is forthcoming. So we will see where this leads. And you're saying on the live page. Oh, I'll check that out on the live page. Thanks, Mike. I'll look that over. There shouldn't be a flash on that page, but I'll check it. So anyway, it might be the chat window. I wonder if that's it. Yeah, I'm getting talked to in the chat room. I'm sorry, everyone that's listening. So Amazon prepared meal kit service possibly launching soon. Also, Netflix has blown past 100 million subscriber mark. It added 5.2 million customers in the last 3 months, so over 100 million. Actually, 103.95. So well above 100 million. And that's congratulations to them. So probably is going to mean a good quarter for any of you that have Netflix stock. And, they keep racking it up here, and they're going to be the cable company. Yep. Yes, indeed. Now, a little bit of space news here, and we haven't had a lot of space news recently. And, but Kirk found one today. I want to thank Kirk for getting the show prep. Hey, Kirk, one thing I'll mention today, little thin, little thin today. So I had to dig through a little bit, which is okay. You went through and picked out some good ones, but I had to add some shows today. So just as a little bit of a heads up. But anyway, on the NASA news, there's a planet out there. If you can survive on it, you could live to be 150,000 years old. Astronomers located a second exoplanet where a year lasts less than the runtime of half a season of Game of Thrones. So it basically it's got it orbits an M dwarf star in less than 4.5 Earth hours. So one day here equals more than what? one day is 4.5 Earth hours. One day here equals more than 5 years there. Something that's I don't know where they get that math, but anyway, um, so this is not the fastest planet they having an orbit around the sun, but it's pretty close. Samsung Pay is adding support for PayPal accounts. So this is those of you who have a Samsung phone. So they've added support for PayPal, which will allow users to integrate their PayPal accounts and use them as a form of payment using Samsung's mobile payment solution. This means users will be able to select compatible credit or debit cards like before, but will also now have the ability to pay while drawing money from their PayPal account instead if they wish to do so. So this marks a big change for Samsung Pay in the mobile payment space, as it puts them on even ground with Android Pay, which recently started adding PayPal as well. So, anyone using Samsung Pay? If you are, I'd love to hear your experiences with it. You gotta love geeks. They're always digging into things, trying to hack stuff, change things up, make it different, do stuff it wasn't designed to do. But now everyone's got their hands on the Google Wi-Fi router, and they're basically saying that okay, this. I'm going to show you guys this. Look at this big ad from Qualcomm. This is why we run. Those of you watching, this is why we run ad blockers. This monster of an ad is ridiculous. It makes me so mad when I see that. But oh, you can't block our site. Well, don't stick this half-page behemoth up there and drive me crazy. Oh, I know they have to pay the bills, but come on. So anyway, you can now root your Google Wi-Fi router, but you're going to need a screwdriver. You are going to have to get your hands dirty here, okay? To put the router in developer mode, you need a screwdriver, USB-C adapter with power delivery and some precise button presses. But once you do the work, you just insert a USB drive and the Gale Force software on it, and you're ready to SSH into your Google Wi-Fi and basically be a boss. And what's nice about this hack is Gale Force will keep working even after Google applies automatic updates to the router. It's a best of both worlds situation. Your home router becomes a Linux box with endless possibilities, but still has the mesh networking and app-based interface. So pretty slick what they've done here, and able to hack this up. So a link will be up in the show notes. Over the years, I've tested a whole bunch of basically skin patches, and I was wearing something at one time that was doing a heart monitor type thing. It was just basic. I was testing gear for companies, and really some of this stuff was awkward. That it's those little, I have a little bit of this is too much information, I know, but fellas, and many of you have gotten an EKG before, and they've had to shave your chest and find get this basically fine skin and be able to stick one of those EKG stickers on you. Well, some of us have a little more hair on our chest than others, and I'm on the right hand side of the equation with too much. I know too much information here. So, wearing some of this stuff didn't always work because it would, a couple days it'd start peeling. It was just a gooey, nasty mess. So, some designers have come up with a super stretchy wearable, feels like a second skin sensor. And it kind of goes on almost like have you ever gotten one of those wash off tattoos? Kids get them all the time. They stick them on their arm or whatever, and 2 3 days later they come off. Well, this is the same type of a deal, and I'm excited when they start using words like nano mesh. You start using words like nano mesh, you kind of get your sci-fi juices going, right? But anyway, this new super stretchy wearable feels like a second skin sensor is none of the stuff that they've been using before. And they're basically using a gold nanomesh conductor. The electric current from a flexible battery placed near the knuckle flows through the conductor and powers the LED below the fingernail. So this is kind of cool. And they're using for a variety of different things. And it basically, because the electric part is a little bit underneath the skin, you can take a shower, and over time, the the stuff washes off, but you can reapply it, not, and basically have it to wear. And one of the examples they were showing was, and this is, proof of concept here, yet it's not the real deal, is they actually had a circuit drawn on the back of someone's hand. And who knows where this is all going to go. Now, there's been a lot of skin based interfaces, stuff to remotely control a phone, turning skin into a touchscreen. There are all kinds of cool tricks, but health monitoring is the thing right now. And almost all kinds of medical monitoring for measuring brain signals or heartbeats or your sugar level. This can be done now. It's starting to be done by this kind of technology. So this just excites the living crap out of me when I see this kind of stuff. And it's not quite there yet, but it's a lot better than some of the gaudy stuff I've tested before. All right, fellas, I want you to free up the hand that you raised to swear to tell the truth, your right hand. So if you have ever went to the mall or store with your wife and really wished you could go to a bar instead, raise your hand. Or, found something, go take a nap in the car. All right, you don't have to go to a bar. How about be anywhere but be at the store, right? We've all been there, right? The way I shop is I know what I need. I go in, I get it, and I get out, right? In, out. There's no like walking through the aisleways. I went to the Nike store on Sunday. I needed to replace the shoes that I've been wearing for working out. I needed to buy a new pair of shoes. I went in, and the salesman came up. And he says, "What are you looking for?" And I told him what I was looking for. He took me a section. I said, "I need a 10 in that color right there." And off he went and got it. I'm in and out of the Nike store in about like 15 minutes. If I was in there with my wife, that's like, put me on the waterboard torture type thing, right? Well, by the way, the Nike store, if you're retired military or active duty, 20% off when you show your ID at a Nike store. Didn't know that? Save myself 15 bucks, all right? So in China, a China mall has introduced what they're calling husband, get this, husband storage pods. So the wife goes off shopping. They put you in a pod. They give you a video game controller or a remote control, and you basically can hang out and nerd out while your wife is shopping. Now, just stay at home, guys. But in China, you can be in a husband pod and let the wife shop and bust your credit card to her heart's content. Uh, that's not gonna work. you know, this is a rite of passage. You have to suffer through. Sometimes you have to go to the store and hang out and smile and yes, that looks pretty and like and I don't have any fashion sense. Actually, some of the stuff I suggest my wife wear, she just looks at me and wrinkles up my nose. She's like, "I'm not 20 anymore." We've all done that, right? So anyway, um, yeah, a pod for the guys to hang out and play video games while the wife is shopping would not go down well at my house. Hey, Google is shifting to a two-step verification method that changes now. They're going to be doing prompts. So when you log into your Google account and you have two-step verification set up, and how it sometimes says or sending your text a code. And you wait for the text to come through and you enter the code and you log in. Well, now it's going to pop up on your phone and you'll be able to verify right on your phone, which is pretty slick until you forget your phone. That's the only problem with this two-step verification stuff. But anyway, pretty slick. That's going to start rolling out next week. Keep an eye out for it. I have to share this. This is a comment the Homeland Security made. Homeland Security said Americans who do want their faces scanned leaving the country should not travel. If you don't want to end up in its facial biometric database, is do not travel. Because if you do, you're going to end up and Homeland Security's biometric database. So those of you that left the country and came back, absolutely guaranteed that you are now in their biometric database. All right? So just be aware, you are logged. Just wonder how much information they really have on us. When you're going through customs, wouldn't you like to walk around the corner and look at the screen that the customs agent is looking at? Wouldn't you like to see that record? That's always I've always tried to do one of try to slide a little bit and look, and I actually had a immigration officer turn his monitor, and he looked at me, gave me the look like do that again. But I've always wanted to see what's on those screens. There's probably screenshots of them somewhere on the internet, but you've always wondered what does it say about me on there. I've never got rolled up, so lucky me. But my wife having worked at the airlines, she sometimes has to work the immigration section, and she can't talk about it at all. But I know she always comes home frustrated those days. Right, the curious case of Tesla's smash autopilot blamed, and then the driver made a U-turn. On Saturday, a Tesla Model S skidded off the road in central Minnesota in America's Midwest and ended up on its roof in a marsh. Inside, the driver, David Clark, 58, and all four passengers were able to get out, and they weren't bust up too bad. A few scrapes and bumps. And initially told the police that the car was on autopilot when it crashed. And then the next day, though, he revised the statement. He sent an email to the police and the folks at Tesla and said, no. We talked with everyone that was in the car, and I did step on the gas and disengage. So he basically kind of admits to sounds like going into the corner a little bit too fast. So everything being said, it looks like that he did not, the autopilot didn't wreck it, the driver did. So we'll see if there's any more news on this as it rolls down, as they start looking at the auto data recorder, and they'll know what was really going on. All right, Google Fiber CEO has stepped down after 5 months. 5 months after Google announced it's shaking up fiber and putting broadband veteran George McRae in charge of the division overseeing it has stepped down. The company's seeking a replacement, but it hasn't named anyone. So, wow. He was handed a turd and ended up having to go down with the sinking ship. But he's out. Well, he's got a CEO title underneath him working for Google. He's going to land on his feet. How many of you have a MySpace account still? If I do, I haven't visited it in 10 years. I don't even, there might be one out there. But until recently, hacker could have gotten into your old MySpace account with just 3 easy to find things about you. Apparently, it was real easy to hack the page. You enter your email, your username, prove that you weren't a robot, and I guess it was real easy to reset it. And but anyway, MySpace was notified, and I guess they fixed it. So anyway, long story short, it's unclear how many MySpace accounts were compromised. But in 2016, the hacker stole and then tried to sell 360 user emails and addresses and passwords from the state. I'd be honest with you. Is there even, let me, how long has it been since you guys been to MySpace? Let me go there. MySpace.com. Let's see what's actually on the website, if anything. It still lives. So I'm serious. I haven't been on this page in years. And can I log in? Does it remember what my username is? Is there anything in the LastPass thing? No, no matching site. So I I haven't been in there for forever. So anyway, I guess MySpace is still a thing. They fixed it so that people can't steal stuff for it. All right, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon have scolded the FCC over net neutrality. Of course, my company supported net neutrality today. We had a banner on the website, and that turned out to get some traffic off that, some good press. But the world's largest internet companies lambasted the FCC in a formal filing today, telling America's Telecom to kill its plans to ditch net neutrality rules. In a lengthy 38-page response accompanied by a 45-page economic analysis, the Internet Association represents Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, Twitter, and 35 others, argues that the current effort underway to get rid of open internet order would create significant uncertainty and harm consumers and innovators alike. So this is a good article, good responses and analysis. I think they're just talking to themselves. I don't think it's going to make a, a bit of difference, to be honest with you. All right, I want to talk a little bit about a campaign that was done for the past few months. A company called Zero Fox, a social media focused digital security company, has been looking into a massive adult or a pornography botnet targeting Twitter. It was dubbed Siren after the mythical Greek creature said to lure sailors to their death with songs. The botnet campaign reportedly included around 90,000 accounts and produced over 8.5 million tweets. Each of the associated accounts had a pretty typical setup. Their profiles featured a photo of a scantily clad woman and a female display name, and tweets from those accounts nearly always included something kind of sexual, followed by an explanation point with an additional phrase meant to get targets to click the shortened URL. Of course, it was a clickbait. And once a user clicked on the link, they would be taken through a series of redirects before landing on a website that encouraged them to sign up for a subscription to a webcam site or fake dating web pages. Siren accounts were able to attract over 30 million clicks. You know, I don't. I'm real careful now who I follow on Twitter. When I'm on Twitter now and I'm thinking about following someone, I load their profile and I actually kind of look who they're following, because what I've done before is I've followed someone on Twitter and all of a sudden, I don't know how this works, somehow in my timeline ends up some porn star with not what I want to see. And so I end up blocking, banning, and it just drives me crazy because I've been in my work environment and I got Hootsuite opened up and I'm looking at Twitter feeds across, 6 or 7 social media accounts, and I click on one and all of a sudden there is something that's not appropriate for the workplace that showed up on my Twitter stream. You do this like jerk around, looking around, and you're trying to click to get it hid, and I've stayed pretty much ahead of it. But the only way I've been able to do it is to, thin who I follow on Twitter, because some of you, come on now, you don't load your Twitter accounts at work. That's for sure. All right, appeals court OK secrecy of FBI national security data request. A federal appeals court is giving the Federal Bureau of Investigation a big boost when it comes to secretly investigating national security affairs. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on Monday upheld federal rules prohibiting companies from promptly disclosing to customers that the FBI is demanding a user's private data. So basically, these companies are going to have to keep quiet. Now, this is going to continue to work its way through the court system. We'll see where this works. But with an NSL, the FBI must inform the ISP that records sought are relevant to an authorized investigation to protect against international terrorism or clandestine intelligence activities, and that the investigation is conducted solely on the basis of activities protected by the First Amendment. You're not protecting the First Amendment when you're getting access to someone's public information or private information. There's a report on ClickLand. I don't know if this is is this a real deal? This domain has got me suspect here. there's a report that a stressful life experience can age brains by years. I guess this is released by the Alzheimer's organization that's come out with this. I don't trust this particular website I'm in, so I'll link the study from the Alzheimer organization versus the, because I'm looking at this URL and I'm like, it it didn't give me no warnings, but it's just a little odd. So anyway, I'll share the particular article, make sure it links to an actual article in the show notes. But stressful life experiences supposedly can age brain. Some news out of Antarctica. Antarctica iceberg A68 opens up in clear water. So the latest satellite images indicate the gap between the 6,000 square kilometer block, the Flossen Larsen Sea ice shelf from which it's calved, is widening. So we'll see if it makes it off to open sea. But this is a big chunk, big chunk of ice. So probably raise the water in the oceans a quarter of an inch. Okay, United Launch Alliance successfully launched one of its Delta IV rockets in space on Saturday, and what did they put up? It was a tracking data relay satellite known as the TDRSMN. Oh no, this is the one that's scheduled to get launched, and they've had some sort of an issue, so um, they're not going to launch it on time. But apparently they've had some issues. So anyway, a link will be up in the show notes on that. All right, kind of a short show today to kind of get back in the saddle. And I don't know if we had any email comments that came in since the last podcast. Let me look. July 10th was the last email that came in. So we would have done a, let's see, like this is the 17th. No, that would have been fine. Oh, it was from Robert. He said, "Hey Todd, no promo code field for GoDaddy transfers." Um, so he said, even though it rarely reduces the cost beyond GoDaddy's normal discount, I've always put one in the GNC GoDaddy codes, the CGNC GNC 31. It rejects the GNC 99 as a one-time use only code, but then always accepts the CGC GNC 30. But today, going through GoDaddy's new flow for domain name transfer, starting with the domain transfer page, when you get to the domain transfer under domain services in the dropdown, I did not see anywhere to enter a promo code. I went through it again a second time more slowly to make sure. Normally you can enter the promo code on the shopping cart before the final checkout, but the new flow now there's just a single complete purchase page. Also tried bailing out of the flow and clicking the shopping cart icon, but I guess the new flow doesn't use the shopping cart. So, Robert, I have an email into GoDaddy saying what's going on. So we'll find out what the story is there because I don't like to hear when someone can't use a code. That's how we keep the lights on. And if they're making it so it's harder to do that, I want to know. I've got your screenshot. Thank you for sending that over so much. But we're gonna get it tracked to the bottom, and I'll give you a response. Okay. None of that monkey business here. We want people to be able to use the code, no matter if they're transferring or if they're buying a new product. It's key to our success and keeping you guys happy too. All right, that's gonna wrap me up. Yeah, short show tonight. I apologize, but that's kind of the way it is. Kind of good too, because I'm still a little bit jet laggy. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me today on the podcast. I'll be back on Thursday for a regular show. Do have some travel plans, but there will be shows while I'm on the next go round of travel. I will be here for the next 2 weeks, and then I'm heading to Florida. For the week of the 31st, I'm going to be in the Tampa, Orlando area. So the week of the 31st of July, I'll be in Florida. So if any of you are within striking distance of that area, let me know. See if we can do a meetup. I do have meetings kind of a couple different places, so I'm going to be moving around a little bit. But regular shows while I'm on travel as the last time. So everything goes as scheduled here for at least the next 3 weeks. Nothing else is in the pipeline. but definitely going to have a week or a couple days out in August for the podcast movement in Anaheim, California. But other than that, I'm back. We're going to rock and roll and producing content. Did the new media show on Sunday that got published out last night. So if you're a listener of that, definitely check it out. But thanks for Kirk for the hard work today and getting the show ready for me. I definitely appreciate it. And of course, everyone that's here, you can send your comments to geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. Definitely don't forget about our sponsor at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. All this done tonight without any type of keep me awake substances like energy drink or anything like that. So always legal substances, of course. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time here on the Geek News Central podcast. Everyone take care. Bye bye.